Welcome to the magical world of Jack and Annie! Today, their treehouse takes them back in time, where dinosaurs roam the earth. Get ready for an adventure like no other! Jack and Annie were ordinary siblings living in the small town of Frog Creek, Pennsylvania. Jack, the older of the two, loved reading and learning new things, always carrying a notebook to jot down facts, questions, and observations. Annie, younger by a few years, was full of energy and curiosity, often acting on impulse rather than careful thought. Together, they enjoyed exploring the woods near their home, imagining adventures and pretending they were explorers in faraway lands. One rainy afternoon, as the drops tapped rhythmically on the roof, Jack and Annie decided to go out into the woods despite the drizzle. The familiar path was slippery and muddy, but their sense of adventure pushed them forward. They wandered further than usual and soon stumbled upon something unusual, a large, wooden treehouse hidden among the branches of an enormous oak tree. Its windows glimmered as if reflecting a secret light, and its ladder hung invitingly from the trunk. The treehouse seemed ordinary, yet something about it felt different, as if it were waiting for them. Inside, the treehouse was filled with shelves stacked high with books of every size and color. Some looked old, their leather covers cracked and worn, while others appeared newer, almost glowing with life. Jack's eyes widened with excitement. He ran his fingers along the spines, noticing titles about knights, astronauts, ancient civilizations, and, most importantly, dinosaurs. Annie darted around, peeking under the shelves, and giggling as she imagined herself discovering hidden treasure. Jack picked up a book about dinosaurs, feeling the smooth cover in his hands. "Look at this one, Annie! It's all about dinosaurs! We could see real ones if this treehouse is magic," he said, half joking but also half hoping it might be true. Annie tilted her head, intrigued. "Real dinosaurs? That would be amazing! But, what if they're dangerous?" she asked, a twinge of worry in her voice. As Jack opened the book, the air in the treehouse seemed to shimmer. The pages glowed faintly, and a strange, swirling wind began to circle around them. Before they could react, the floor beneath their feet lifted and spun, and the treehouse began to move. Their surroundings blurred into streaks of green and brown, and a strange humming filled their ears. Suddenly, the spinning stopped, and everything went silent. When Jack and Annie peeked out of the treehouse window, they were no longer in Frog Creek. The trees were enormous, the ferns taller than their heads, and the air felt heavy and humid. Jack's heart raced. "Annie! I think we're really here! We're in the age of dinosaurs," he whispered, both terrified and amazed. Annie's eyes grew wide. "Dinosaurs? Really? Oh, Jack! This is incredible!" she exclaimed, jumping up and down, though her excitement was tempered by fear. As they explored cautiously, they spotted their first dinosaur, a pteranodon gliding gracefully above, its massive wings casting shadows over the forest floor. Jack and Annie held their breath, watching its beady eyes and long beak. They moved carefully through the undergrowth, amazed by the strange plants and the sounds of distant creatures. Soon, they noticed a triceratops grazing nearby, its three horns moving rhythmically as it chewed on the thick leaves. Jack jotted down notes in his notebook, fascinated by the creature's size and behavior, while Annie whispered her observations aloud, her imagination running wild with ideas. Suddenly, the peaceful scene was shattered by a loud, bone-chilling roar. The ground trembled beneath their feet. From behind a cluster of trees emerged a Tyrannosaurus rex, massive and terrifying. Its sharp teeth gleamed in the sunlight, and its tiny eyes scanned the forest as it moved with surprising speed. Jack and Annie froze in fear, realizing how small and vulnerable they were. They ducked behind rocks and ferns, hearts pounding, trying to think of a way to stay safe. For what felt like hours, but was only minutes, they watched the predator search for prey, its every movement precise and deadly. Jack reminded Annie to stay quiet and still, and Annie's hands trembled as she clutched her brother's arm. They both realized that despite their excitement, this world was dangerous. The dinosaurs were real, wild, and not to be taken lightly. While hiding, Jack remembered the instructions in the book. Carefully, he whispered the words that might bring them home. The treehouse began to hum again, the air swirling around them like a small tornado. Just as the T-Rex took a step closer, the magic activated, and they were whisked back into their own time. The familiar walls of the treehouse surrounded them, safe and still, and the siblings sank to the floor, breathing heavily. They had made it back, unharmed, but forever changed by the experience. Back home, Jack and Annie sat quietly, reflecting on their adventure. They realized that the treehouse was more than a playhouse, it was a portal to incredible experiences, allowing them to witness history and prehistory firsthand. They felt a mix of awe, fear, and excitement, knowing that each book in the treehouse held the promise of new adventures. Jack made a careful note to study everything about the dinosaurs they had seen, while Annie imagined all the places they could visit next. Their journey had taught them important lessons. Curiosity could lead to amazing discoveries, but caution and bravery were equally essential. They learned to rely on each other, facing fears together and finding solutions as a team. Most of all, they realized that the world was full of mysteries waiting to be explored, and with the magic treehouse, they had the chance to experience them all. The adventure ended with the promise of more to come. Jack and Annie knew that the treehouse would always be there, ready to transport them to new times and places. And while they didn't yet know what awaited them, the thrill of discovery and the bond between siblings would guide them through every challenge, every new world, and every story hidden among the shelves of the magical treehouse.